Good day, learners! Welcome to another scientific episode filled with new knowledge and discoveries on living things in their environment. This is Teacher Eddie, and today we're going to talk about the energy flow in an ecosystem. From the previous lesson, you have learned that stability of the ecosystem depends on how high or low its biodiversity. The higher the biodiversity, the more stable the ecosystem, which means higher chance of survival. And the lower the biodiversity, the lower the chance of survival in an ecosystem since the stability is low. An ecosystem must contain both biotic or living things and abiotic or non-living factors to sustain its stability or balance where different organisms have shelter and enough source of food to ensure the survival of their species. But how does this interaction between biotic and abiotic factor help maintain the balance in the ecosystem? How does the transfer of energy take place? In this episode, we're going to learn about the energy pyramid and how energy transfer takes place through the trophic levels. In your previous grade level, you learned about the food chain and food web. A food chain is a linear sequence of organisms through which nutrients and energy pass as one organism eats another. The grasshopper eats the plants. The mouse eats the grasshopper. The eagle eats the snake. And when the eagle dies, fungi break the bodies down and turn into nutrients. The nutrients, along with sun and water, cause the plants to grow. All organisms are dependent to one another and to the environment where it belongs in order to survive. The process of who will be eaten and who will eat established the balance and flow of energy in an ecosystem. The one that is being eaten gives energy to those dependent on them. Eventually, the one that receives the energy will bring it back to the ecosystem the time it decomposes. An energy pyramid, sometimes called a trophic pyramid or an ecological pyramid, is a graphical representation showing the flow of energy at each trophic level in an ecosystem. Trophic level refers to the hierarchical levels in an ecosystem in which an organism share the same function and nutritional relationship within the food chain. The width of each bar represents the units of energy available within each trophic level. The height is always the same. The flow of energy moves through the layers of the energy pyramid from the bottom up and is gradually reduced as energy is used up by the organism at each level. The base of the energy pyramid indicates the energy available within the producers. Producers, also known as autotrophs, are organisms which create their own food by taking their energy from non-living sources. Plants, being the producers, absorb sunlight with the help of the chloroplasts, and part of it is transformed into chemical energy in the process of photosynthesis. The second trophic level consists of primary consumers. These are the herbivores that feed solely on producers. The energy stored in plants is passed on to the primary consumers in the food chain when the herbivores consume the plants as food. Then, the chemical energy stored in plant is converted into kinetic energy. The third trophic level is occupied by the secondary consumers. When these herbivores are ingested by carnivores or omnivores of the secondary consumers, further degradation will occur. Carnivores, also known as the meat eaters, are animals whose food and energy requirements derive solely from animal tissue or meat, while omnivores are animals that feed on both plant and animal matter. Carnivores and omnivores are heterotrophs. Heterotrophs are organisms that obtain their nutrients or nutrition from the other organisms. Finally, When tertiary consumers eat the carnivores or the omnivores, energy will again be degraded. Thus, the energy flow is unidirectional in nature. The 10% law of energy flow states that when the energy is passed on from one trophic level to another, only 10% of the energy is passed on to the next trophic level. As an example, suppose that producers of an ecosystem store 20,000 kilocalories square meter per year of energy as biomass. This is also the amount of energy per year that has made available to the primary consumers, which eat the producers. The 10% rule would predict that the primary consumers store only 2,000 kilocalories square meter per year of energy in their own bodies, making energy available to their predators or secondary consumer at a lower rate. The energy flow in the ecosystem is important to maintain ecological balance. The producers synthesize food by the process of photosynthesis. A part of the energy is stored within the plants. The remaining energy is utilized by the plants in their growth and development. This stored energy is transferred to the primary consumers when they feed on the producers. This energy is further passed on to the secondary consumers when they feed on the primary consumers, and so on. The balance of nature is a concept which describes a state of equilibrium between living organisms like human beings, plants, animals, and their environment. A harmonious relationship reflects a healthy ecological balance. Humans play a very crucial role in maintaining the ecological balance. It is because they have the highest thinking capacity in comparison with other organisms. It is very important to maintain this balance as it assures our survival, stability, and most importantly, our existence. When the ecological balance is favorable, it ensures that each organism multiplies and lives as expected. And that wraps up our scientific episode for today. Love your environment and be proud of it. This is Teacher Eddie. See you next time, and always remember, learning science is amazing. Goodbye!